Hello, this is Alex from Marine Log. I'm here at the Workboat 2023 show, joined on the show floor by Luke Briant, and he is the Director of Maritime and Offshore Sales for Siemens Energy, specifically in the electrification, automation, and digitalization sector of the company. Luke, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today.
Thank you, Alex.
So, as everyone knows, everyone is very concerned about decarbonization in the maritime space. It's a hot button topic, and everyone is really interested about what the future holds. Luke, could you give us, I know it's a broad question, but could you give us kind of your outlook, Siemens Energy's maritime outlook on decarbonization plans coming up here next decade, next few years, big things that are on the horizon?
Good question. So, Alex, the industry is evolving quickly. I think the general consensus is there's no silver bullet, right? There's no absolute answer for everything. I think we're going to see a big transition over the coming years, almost like a renaissance in shipbuilding and the type of technology we put into vessels. Whether it's augmented fuels, power, whether it's energy storage, fuel cells, different alternative fuels, and basically vessels are either going to be a hybrid of some sort. They're going to be all electric if the application fits. And another big challenge with some of the projects is infrastructure, right? For ferries in particular, when you want to electrify a ferry and you want to make it all electric, you have to have the infrastructure to support it, right? Just like a Tesla. So yeah, in general, I would say Siemens Energy has some fantastic technology in EAD. We have our own core DC technology, which allows for easy integration of different power sources. Okay. We have our own energy storage called the Blue Volt. We also have a smaller a microgrid, if you like, or a distributed DC system called Blue Drive Echo.
Okay.
And then both are just perfectly designed for maritime applications and offshore applications.
Exactly, and I think that's kind of a big trend that everyone's noticing is that you have to start this process early, otherwise retrofitting and all that, it just complicates things.
Exactly, and I would say the devil's in the details, right? And I think what we've learned over the years is as the vessels are getting more and more complicated, detailed design early is becoming paramount, right?
Exactly.
So just coming up with a very basic design and going to market and tendering it is dangerous.
Yep.
And I think early partnering with the right companies and developing the right solution, and then really using a cross pollination of digitalization, analytics, modeling, and actually doing the engineering to find the best solution for that specific application in that vessel and operational profile.
Exactly.
is the solution, right?
And that's going to involve employees from every sector of the industry because it's such a wide-spanning project that it's really something that everyone needs to buy into, correct?
Exactly. And I think, what a great show this is, right? Yeah. I mean, the best show, in my opinion, in North America for maritime. It's fantastic to see how busy it is this year.
Yeah.
I think it's even more busy than it was last year. So that's great. And what I notice is walking around the show, new technology popping up.
Exactly. I see it too.
And it's fantastic to see. So I think the industry is really getting behind the push to decarbonize. I think the industry is really starting to take it seriously, and I see naval architects stepping up to the plate. I see a lot of companies partnering early and really looking hard at the technology and what can they implement today. But also at the end of the day, it's not all about yes, we want to go green, but these companies also have to be able to make money still, right? They have to be profitable businesses. They have to take care of their employees, but they also need to understand that we need to do our part for the planet, right? Exactly. And we have to change our thinking.
So you mentioned all the technology here. Siemens Energy, specific technology that is used to reduce emissions in modernization, retrofitting vessels, new builds. Can you get into those details a little bit?
Sure. I mean, we are doing some. Actually, we have a modernization project underway as we speak, where the specific customer, it's a midlife, a 20-year midlife, and they went from 6 engines to 4 engines. They went from old DC propulsion to AC propulsion motors, and basically overall we came up with a much more efficient solution for the customer, right? Okay. So taking a vessel that was conventionally designed 20 plus years ago, diesel electric, but now we've retrofitted to a more modern diesel electric system. We have other customers where we're starting to integrate energy storage, so really kind of analyzing the operational profile, and then adding that energy storage for peak shaving, gen bridging. The ability to run single engine operations, where historically they would have to run 2 engines because they can't, if they lose 1 engine then they're dead ship, or they lose track if it's a survey vessel. So the ability to be able to have that energy storage, run on 1 less engine, which obviously burns less fuel, and having a energy storage on board is like having a massive UPS, right? I mean, you basically have blackoutless operation. So if you dimension it properly, you do the engineering up front to dimension everything, you really truly can make an impact on the customers, fuel savings.
Oh yeah.
Make an impact on their operational costs, which is key. Which is also good because it can offset the capex up front, right?
Yep.
To go with a better technology to make their vessel more efficient.
And it seems like that's kind of a common first step for vessel owners, fleet owners that are looking to achieve decarbonization goals. Is that you can retrofit diesel boats, and it's very common for hybrid electric to happen right now with diesel.
Oh yeah. So I think, if you just look around, right, like there's some pretty cool projects going on. Look at Hydrogen One, right, by Maritime Partners. Fantastic, groundbreaking project. We right now are building a research vessel for Scripps, which has hydrogen on board. So she has a hydrogen plant and also a diesel electric plant. So in low load operations and inshore operations, she can run zero emission.
Wow.
And then when she's transiting, she can run variable speed diesel electric, which increases their fuel consumption just in diesel electric mode.
Yes, and you mentioned hydrogen. I was going to ask, so looking forward, 2024, 25, 26, even further, what are some big goals that you have in mind, or some game-changing technology that may come out? I know hydrogen is a bit of a hot button issue. Some people seem to be intimidated of it. Could you give us a little breakdown on how that is going to play out in your eyes?
Yes, and I think the big challenge with the vessel, right, is its space. Space is a premium, right? So I think as we get into these alternative fuels, we're running into the challenges of space. Like any vessel.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see is there is going to be a push towards hydrogen and also methanol, right?
Yep.
And then of course there's a green methanol, there's a green hydrogen, and the
really
challenge
opens Pandora's box.
Oh yes, and then the challenges that come along with that, and then also the infrastructure to be able to support it, to be able to refuel the vessel, right?
Yep.
And then how do we manage that space? And I think you're also going to see developments in energy storage technology. Hopefully, there's different chemistries being experimented with all the time to try and improve performance, energy density, to try and reduce that space, right? That envelope.
Yeah.
So I think in the future here, you're going to see, I don't think it's going to be maybe at the rate that people expect, because there are true barriers to market in the sense of the infrastructure, the investment that has to go into it.
Yeah, ports are going to have to drastically alter their setups. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think it's also been a refreshing change in the United States because, in 2021, the Biden administration passed the IIJA Act, and there's billions of dollars available to electrify ferries, which is fantastic for vessel owners and operators to be able to, get that support from the government. And we've seen that now in the industry starting to trickle through, so that's fantastic. We are seeing, especially like, for example, I'll give an example, Texas DOT, right? We're delivering we just delivered their first hybrid ferry.
Oh, really?
The Galveston Bolivar ferry.
Oh, yeah.
And she runs hybrid with our technology. And so there we have, Texas just down the road already making moves, thinking about how they can contribute to reducing their emissions.
Perfect. All right, and then to wrap things up here, once again, thank you so much for taking the time.
No worries.
What is something that you think vessel owners, owner-operators, even ship captains can do just to integrate the idea of progress, decarbonization into their workspaces? What's something easy that everyone can do to kind of help push the ball along and maybe get in front of their bosses and help them understand what needs to happen?
I think it always starts at home, right?
Yeah.
And it starts with the mindset. So, and I think that in general, the maritime industry, that mindset is definitely changing.
Yeah.
And I've seen that in the last couple of years. It's been impressive. And I think,
you do sense a true change?
And I think even at work, right, people are being sensitive now to their travel, right? Do I need to get on a plane, right? Do I need to, create more CO2, right? Can I do it by Teams, for example, right?
People are talking more, say 10 years ago, that wasn't even a conversation.
Exactly, right? Okay. So like today, it would start, for example, if you're going to have a 1 hour meeting with a customer or a 2 hour meeting, can we just get it done by Teams so that I don't have to get on a plane or somebody doesn't have to get in a car? So I think that's one thing that you can start with.
That's a great point.
Now, with important meetings, obviously you just can't beat FaceTime, right?
Yeah.
And you do, depending on the topic and how long you're going to discuss the issue with and who's going to be there, sometimes you just have to be face-to-face.
Yeah.
But in general, I think we're seeing the industry taking that switch of implementing Teams, for example, to reduce, their impact on the environment, right?
Perfect.
And then also, people integrating, buying electric cars, buying hybrid cars, right?
That's the other thing. It's coming into the market in, classic consumer fashion where people are now becoming familiar with electrification and battery-powered vehicles. So the next step is the maritime sector.
Absolutely. And we're seeing it, right?
Yeah.
But I think the industry is is plagued with high labor rates, high capex costs, for investments and assets. So I think in order to implement this technology, there's got to have not just in the ferry space, but I think even in the inland space, it would be great if there are other mechanisms to help the industry get in front of that technology to start implementing that for towboats, tugs, push boats, things like that.
That makes a lot of sense.
ATBs.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, Luke, thank you so much for taking the time.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, the viewers, for watching. We'll be on marinelog.com, so make sure to tune in. Thank you.